Hello, everybody. Here it is Monday night, and you are in the lion's den.
Rawr.
Anyway, I'm going to play a little video here, kind of a disclaimer, because I don't want anybody to get their panties in a bunch, and I'll be right back after.
The carnivore lifestyle we are sharing is not run by dietitians or medical professionals. Everything discussed in this video forum is general in nature and is in no way medical advice. Speak to your medical professional to determine if this lifestyle is right for you, and do not start it if your physician or healthcare provider advises against it.
All right. This is only the second week, and we have actually invited someone on here that there's a big reason why. One is we love her. The second reason is she's also in carnivore, and she could tell you her story, and we're going to have kind of a discussion. But I'm going to let Chris introduce her because he's an introducing maniac. Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you, Marty. I love you. Narelle, I love you too. I've known Narelle for about 4 years now, I would say, give or take. She's actually an amazing woman. She's an author. She's got a heart of gold. She's a hardworking, independent woman, very respectful. She pushes things way past the limit, which I love, and nothing ever really stops her. And we're going to bring her on to discuss about the carnivore, and we're going to listen to what Narelle has done or adjusted to. And I'm going to say it again, we're not doctors. We are here giving you our opinions on what we're going through with the carnivore diet. I have, through these guys, learned a lot more through other professional doctors and how they talk about the carnivore. So really interested to hear what Miss Narelle has to say. So Miss Narelle Warcon from Australia is in the house. Come on, baby.
In the house. Narelle, say hello to everybody.
G'day everyone, how are you going? It's Tuesday morning here in Australia, and thank you for having me on YouTube.
This is the first time that Narelle gets to be with us, and it's not 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, because usually we have her live, and it's the middle of the night. In fact, she paid me a big compliment one time. She said, Marty, when you talk, you make everybody fall asleep. Whoa, thank you very much. No, she didn't say that. But anyway, no, what I wanted to go over is for me, and then we'll lead into this. Like about 2 years ago, you know what? I'm really bad at time now because things go so fast. Maybe a year and a half ago, I've tried everything. My health was declining, actually. Just feeling bad, sore joints, had trouble moving around anyway. I already had a problem. And I thought, man, if I don't do something about this, it's going to get worse. And yeah, I went to the doctor. I've tried these so-called diets. I did them all of them, and I hit them hard. Like I would lose weight, but the problem is when I was done, I gained it back and some Oprah. You know what I mean? So I'd start one weight, lose it, come back heavier than I was before I started it, and at that rate, I'm going to need flippers. You know what I mean? If I keep going. So, but I started off, believe it or not, both of you, in the keto diet, which was minimizing your carbs. I think I stayed under 30 grams of carbs a day. I didn't know when I was growing up in the 70s, this is when this big thing hit. I remember it. Low fat diet, fat free, all those big words. Fat free, low fat, eat grains, and we did. In fact, if we were eating bacon or grease, my mom or somebody would say something. Oh, that's not my mom so much, but other people. Oh, you can't do that. It's going to give you diseases and all that. So we went by the book, and America swelled up like a freaking pig in the last 25, 30 years. So anyway, the story is I did in carnivore, and that first year was life-changing. I mean, as much as anything I've ever done. I'm not talking about financial, but like the way I felt. I'm like, it can't be just because of the food I put in my mouth. And once again, I'm not a doctor. I got to go by how I feel. I was taking 4 prescriptions a day for blood uh, high blood pressure, something with taking water off and whatever. And I don't take any of it now. Now, again, this is me. I had COPD. I still do have a lung problem, but comparison to what I had, I am now, it's a different world. And it's getting better every day. I want to turn it over to Chris and Narelle. Both of you can come in. I want to know, Narelle, what made you look into keto or carnivore, or either one?
Well, thank you for having me here today. It's a real pleasure. I never looked at keto. In actual fact, over the years, I looked at different diets. Excuse me. I tried back 30 years ago. My first daughter, second child, was born, and I had been to Weight Watchers, just prior to falling pregnant with her, and I'd actually lost 28 kilos in 6 months. So that was a big thing. And then I fell pregnant. It's like, oh, all out the window now, because cravings or whatever. And I have to say that right now, and I know this is a little bit of the cart before the horse, but it's been over 30 years now since I've been that weight again, and I'm absolutely elated. But going on keto, carnivore, my journey into it was I heard you talk about it, and I had been looking and sort of not trialing anything, but just watching what I eat. I was only on 2 meals a day. I have diabetes. I have type 2 diabetes, and I just wanted to look at something a little bit better or cleaner, or how to get rid of my diabetes, because I'm 63 and I just wanted to go into older age with better health. So having diabetes diagnosed since 2004, insulin and tablet dependent since 2013, but I'm what they called a very well-maintained diabetic, or well-balanced, because I look after myself and just go to the doctor for blood tests and things like that. So I heard you talking about it, Marty, and the thing was, I looked at it, I heard you talking about it, I sort of thought about it, and then I did my own research. And I suggest that everybody does their own research, because we all have different bodies. Now, I've had open heart surgery. I've had a triple bypass back in 2015. So for me, it was, is this okay for my heart? It wasn't anything else bar that. So I went and watched a couple of videos on YouTube by doctors and proper heart specialists and things like that, who were able to give me the information I needed for my body, because it wasn't just hearsay or somebody else saying, hey, you should do this, or, this is fine, and that sort of thing. So do your own research is really important. So when I listened to that, I think it was an American heart specialist, because heart disease is one of the biggest things out there these days. And because I'd already had a triple bypass and a heart attack, I realized that I needed to do something and look at things differently. So my journey into it was because of what you said, Marty, but also going and doing my own research around it.
Marty, I muted you. There you go.
Hello. Yeah, that's okay. No, it's the same for me, Narelle. I was looking around, and I was actually praying that I could find something, and I ran into this guy about keto, and when I heard about getting to where your body's burning fat instead of sugar, right away I said, I want that, whatever that is. I can't see where that would be bad. And then I realized that your brain works better when you're in ketosis. And I thought, well, why would that be? And some of the people online, I'd love to have a couple of them on here one day. In fact, I'm a pretty determined person. I would imagine it will happen eventually. Is when you get somebody that can back it by research, where for me, and I want Chris to weigh in, but my clarity, the more I got into it, when I became when I got into ketosis, where my body actually switched over from burning sugar to burning fat, it was like I took a B12 shot. No joke, no joke. The energy, I used to drink 2 big things of coffee this size every day in the morning. If I do this now while I'm in ketosis, I'm like Roger freaking Rabbit. I mean, I can't. But you can. I because I get involved in so much stuff. I know Chris says. I know you do, Narelle. Where you got 40 tabs up, you got 2 different stuff. You're doing a video here. While that's rendering, and you jump over to something else and work on it. Then you go, what the heck was I working on before this? Oh yeah, I go back and the video's done, and you do that, and then you go, wait a minute, I got to go to a live. I could finish this. Well, I got to finish. I'll bring it with me. I mean, but if your mind's foggy, you can't do it. And I would be just kind of foggy, or especially in the business we're in now. Well, you know this. I mean, a lot of stuff going on is on the opposite side of the planet for you.
Mm.
So you got to be up and roaring to go like 10, 11 o'clock, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes. Because, like some of the big meetings we've been in are probably 2, 3 o'clock in the morning for you, right? So,
Yeah.
no, but another thing that happened to me is other things I found out I needed, like vitamin D and all that, but I'd fall asleep, sleep 5, 6 hours. And I mean, think eyes wide open. It's not that groggy where you can barely move. And I used to get up in my knees, my joints were stiff. And you sit in bed and you work the pig until you can stand up. All that has gone away. I couldn't make a fist. My knuckles were starting to get knobby, or whatever you want to call it. I don't think it's arthritis. No, I think it's arthritis. I don't know. And that slowly went away. No joke. And I look at my hands now, and I go, who the freak are these hands? I can see veins in the back of my hands. It takes away the fat inside, which is
You talk about, foggy brain. And the thing is, I've always been, fairly active. I mean, open heart surgery knocked me around for some time. The pain, the frozen shoulder afterwards, all that sort of stuff. You're barely surviving, I suppose, and you just keep getting up and keep getting up, because that's what my life has been. One knockdown, keep getting up. One knockdown, keep getting up. So I suppose I have a lot of resilience, so to speak. But you talk about foggy brain, and I think some of us, and if our listeners think about this, it's about sometimes you don't know you've got it until you don't have it.
yeah.
Okay, so you think you're doing all right, you think you're going along okay, you forget a few things, and then you start saying things like, oh, I must be getting old, it's age related. And that sort of thing to me has always been, because I class myself as still a young 63, even though I've been through so much. I think that, that whole brain fog, I recall things now quicker. Yes, I may still take a little bit of a break to think about. And I say, it's just coming through the filing system. It'll be here soon, because, my head is always full of stuff. So I have to recall it. But it comes, and I hear myself saying words that I wouldn't normally say. It sounds really silly in a sense, but just the clarity in speech, being able to do lives and things like that is really quite an incredible thing. Now, my body does need rest, and I make sure that even if I'm going to bed, thank you guys for last night, hello, couldn't sleep, at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then it went into 1:30 by the time I finished off and shut down the computer, and then it was like 2:30 before I got to sleep. But that's okay, because when I sleep, my body actually rests. I've given it the food that it requires and needs, and then I do all my work. And creativity doesn't just happen. If you're trying to be creative, you're trying to make videos, which I do. Creativity is one of those things that I see a word, I see somebody say something, I hear something, bingo, I've got to go and do a video about it. And that's just who I am, and that's how I make my creativity work for me. But yeah, I just wanted to jump in there about the brain fog.
By the way, I saw your paint the world.
Oh, isn't it
That's so
beautiful?
cool.
Sorry.
Yes. And I couldn't think of when I was talking with Chris. I mean, all the time we mess with each other, but inside he'll say a few things, and I go, and then I'm realizing, Marty, do you really want to go there right now? We've been here 20 minutes, and I'm thinking, how do I relate what we're doing? Yeah, we're going to work on poverty, but if you I thought a paintbrush, everybody gets a small one. We all do our bit. If you got a lot doing it, you will change the color, And I thought somebody's got to make a video, which was dirty because they're the one that freaking did it. But Chris, add
And of
something
course,
to
it was very good. I am very proud of it because
it.
it filled me with joy doing it.
It was
Because,
good.
the wording and just the colors, it really brought that sense of joy to me.
It was good. Add something, Mr.
I'm
Bell.
going to get you guys back on track. Yes, everyone knows we are part of something else,
Yeah.
but this is totally different, but that's okay. I like hearing everyone's opinions on everything, no matter what.
It goes with us being able to fire
Yeah.
the neutrons in the head, right?
The neutrons. I think for me, what the carnivore has taught, and again, I heard it from Marty, didn't listen to him, called my buddy John White, listened to him, jumped on it, had great success with it, and then I got hurt. You know the story. And I'm back on. It's been 6 weeks now. And I think what it's brought me to more knowledge is the more I realize how good this stuff works, the more I check on healthier things to put in this pie hole. I stay away from sugar. Myself personally, not telling you to do that. I have stopped taking my insulin. My sugar is almost perfect condition, which I'm completely shocked about. I have a nurse in here, Miriam. She's probably listening. She'll be on in the next week or two to discuss what she knows about it, which will be very interesting. And that's the whole idea. We're looking for people with experience. Me, the brain fog is gone. I go to bed anywhere between 12:30 and 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm waking up at 5:30, wide awake, thinking, what the heck? I'm retired. I love to sleep because I didn't do it for years. And now I can't go past 5:30 in the morning, which this is your body saying, hey, buddy, you're finally doing something right. The right nutrition, the right stuff is going into your body. And a lot of people to this day say, there's no way that could possibly work. Okay. I watched Narelle go from,
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm going to say it in her language, a humongous kangaroo, not humongous, but down to a slender little, what do they call it? Joey kangaroo. She looks amazing. I've seen, and it's weird because we see each other every day most of the time, but her, I notice it weekly. And I would say, Marty, check it out. Look at Narelle. Same thing we noticed with Marcianne the other day. You start noticing it on people and you're thinking, wow. And then I researched it even more, found out about these other real doctors that talk about it every day, and they explain why this works and how it works. They also explain that, and these are doctors saying your doctor doesn't really inform you of a lot of information you should have. They do talk about diabetes. They talk about the good, the pros and the cons. And I tell you what, the carnivore right now is all pros for me. It could react differently to somebody else, but it works. And the truth is, I'm never hungry, but I make myself eat at least one big piece of meat every day with a couple bacons and a couple eggs. Normally, I said last week, 5 cups of coffee with 5 sugars, 5 creams. I'd run to McDonald's and grab up some sugar burgers on a bun, and I'd go and get some, Mountain Dew I was addicted to, but I got off that a long time ago. If you are drinking pop, I don't care if it's diet, regular, it's horrible for you. That's my opinion. I do drink once a week. I treat myself to a sugar-free, no-carb Coca-Cola, which doesn't bother me a bit because there's nothing really in it, but it's a different taste. I drink a lot of water. I drink mushroom coffee. This I'm not going to say it's a diet. This carnivore that I've been doing, that I learned from all these individuals, have brought me to a new understanding that you should always research everything before you stick it into your body, whether it's your mouth or your veins. And again, different strokes for different folks. But I'm letting you know, I'm a guy that struggled with his weight his whole life. I have been active since I was 10 years old, lifting weights, running, riding bikes, nonstop. I took a couple years off and I completely went down the crapper. And I did every pill that said you can lose 100 pounds if you take this pill. Marty knows I'm a sucker for when it comes to that stuff. And I realized all the money I spent on these fad diets, these fad pills, was just a big waste of money. And then I realized I could fill my freezer for the week with whether beef, steak, meat, whatever I could afford at the time, and realize that I could probably eat for 2 months of what I bought for a week, where before I was spending about $300 a week just on groceries. And that was, give me some of those donuts, those breakfast things that are supposed to be healthier for you. And if you look, they're loaded with sugar, and you eat, you have a big old, like Marty said this morning, you eat a Twinkie, and on me, my right butt cheek would get about 3 miles long. There are a lot of us out there like that we gain weight by looking at something literally. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that I know that's going to have to exercise my entire life. But I found out this. On the carnivore, it gives me the energy to actually want to go exercise. I never feel sluggish because I'm not eating. You could put 2 large pizzas in front of me, and I swear to you, I will eat them both. I used to tell these individuals down here, what'd you have for dinner? I ran to Taco Bell, and I had 7 bean supremes, burrito supremes, and I got a nacho bell grande, chips, cheese, the sour cream. Sour cream's not bad for you. And I would pound this stuff within 15 minutes. Next thing you know, I couldn't see my knees. And I have a rule. If you can't tie your shoes without your eyes watering, you're in trouble. If you can't cut your toenails without losing your breath, you need to change something. Because as you pound on the weight, everything that's bad comes into play. When you fill your gut full of junk, your gut reacts to your whole body. And the gut's telling the brain, hey, man, you should just go lay down after you just ate those 14 donuts. And that's what happens. The carnivores teach me, it doesn't just teach me, it shows me that, man, I did this wrong for years. And I'll go back to what both these said. If I would have known 20 years what I know now, I would probably Chris Schwarzenegger, But the truth is, if you don't try it, you do have to have the will for anything. Anything new you start, even a relationship, you got to have that will there. Do you really want this? Do you really want, if you don't really want to do it, which I don't know why you wouldn't try it, you're losing out. But you have to give it a chance, like anything. You start off, I would say within 2 days, I was adjusted, believe it or not. I take this fasting thing very serious because it's easy to do. When I first heard the word fast, I was running the other way. Oh, hell no, I'm not going 20 hours without eating.
Well, it's intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting, sorry. But 24 hours, believe it or not, I can go without even thinking about food. Okay? My best was 36 hours. And you can see I don't ever get on a scale. Why? Because I think it defeats the purpose. I might weigh myself once every 3 months. And the reason I don't get on a scale is I can tell by my clothes starting to fall off me. Bought a new pair of sweats. I got to wear some drawers because when I walk outside, they fall right off me. This is how I know I'm losing weight. Walking a little bit for me, 6 weeks, last year was horrible because I had such bad neuropathy in my feet. I thought, oh my God, if you've ever had it, it's the worst. I know people get it in their wrists, their hands, but this is all the kind of stuff that can happen to you if you don't eat right. Everyone is susceptible to becoming a diabetic. But if you eat the right foods, many, many diseases, through doctors, not me, I won't say it because they say it, have killed a lot of diseases in people's body because they allowed the body to do what it's supposed to do, heal itself. And we don't give our bodies that chance because McDonald's is so much easier than cooking a whole meal. Taco Bell just sounds cool, man. That margarita with the sugar all over it, it tastes good, but technically it's killing you. I say get rid of sugar. This is what I've done. This is what I will continue to do. I got maybe 25 to 30 more pounds that my goal weight is, but I want to go past that. I was 161 pounds in high school many years ago when I played football. I was the little guy. All right. Do I think I can get down to 161 pounds again? I do, with this diet, without any effort. I lift light weights 3 times a week. I ride my bike almost every day, 7 to 10 miles. And I used to say, oh, I got to work out. Not, I want to work out. I want to better myself. I want to be healthy. I don't want to be that guy. I'm 58. When I turned 65, 70 years old, sitting in front of a TV, you know, looking around, watching everything on the news, playing Jeopardy. I don't want to be that guy. I still want to be at 65, 70, 80 years old out there climbing mountains, swimming in some beautiful oceans because I can. I don't ever want to be put in a situation because I put myself there to be strapped to a couch and spend the rest of your life watching TV. It's not a life. Trust me on that. I say, trust this system on the carnivore. Try it. And if you don't like it, I say give it 1 month. If you don't see the difference, which I know you will, I'd like to say I'd give you a month, a 90-day money back guarantee, but I'm not selling you nothing.
No. I think the best thing to do, I don't want to talk anybody into it. We're telling you what happened to us. But if you give it 90 days, I find it very hard to believe that you would ever go back. I can't imagine it. But you got to want to do it. And then once you get doing it, and that's what I want to ask Narelle, how did it go for you from the beginning, starting to where you are now?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And great work, Chris. You know, you do have to have the will for anything you do. And that is the big thing. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's business, whether it's dieting, whether it's just, you know, your whole life. You know, you have to have the will sometimes to get up out of bed. Now, I've been on carnivore 6 months today, and it has changed my life. You know, 6 months ago, I decided, and I'm a bit of a, that's it, I'm doing it, and it's now. And that's how I went. I went straight carnivore, no ketovore, don't muck around. And oh my gosh, you know, now I'm going to speak from a female point of view because I think that there's a lot of women on here watching. And I have to say that women are emotional eaters. We have been all of our life. Men eat, and men can eat usually way much more than women. However, we emotionally eat. We emotionally eat when we're sad, when we're happy, when it's somebody's birthday, when we're having a cranky day. I was going to say something else then. And, you know, we eat the leftovers from our child's plate, right? Because we don't like waste, especially if you come from a poorer family or a lower income. You don't like waste. So you eat, and you eat because somebody told you that you should have breakfast, and somebody told you that you should have lunch, and somebody told you that dinner is at a certain time. And we get programmed into thinking that we need to eat by a certain time. Lunch is at 12, breakfast is at 8, you know, dinner is at 6 o'clock. In between you snack, because why? I think a lot of it comes to boredom. If you're bored, you're sitting around doing nothing, you haven't found your purpose yet, or different things like that you can throw yourself into. Yes, work is exhausting. Oh my gosh, I worked that hard. I had my own businesses, florist businesses, 6 days a week, had a preemie baby, had a marriage breakup. I had it all in one little spot in my life where it was hard, and I ended up having a nervous breakdown. What I'm saying here today is that you have it within you to do anything you want. So those first 2 weeks for me, it wasn't 2 days, it took me 2 weeks. And I wanted to, I saw Jennifer Dickinson here saying that she had, you know, having cravings and things like that. I think for us as women, we're so used to cooking something and vegetables at night, something, you know, what are we going to cook tonight? What are we going to do? You know, what do the kids want? I don't feel like cooking, but, you know, I need to cook something healthy for the kids, you know, and my kids are all grown up. You know, I have adult children. I have one granddaughter. However, I think that for me, that first 2 weeks was thinking, what the heck am I going to eat? You know, it says meat, eggs, a few bits and pieces here and there. But how am I going to put that together? You know, I've never been a big steak eater because steak was an expensive item for me. And people go, isn't it more expensive now? And I go, haven't bought a thing for the pantry for so long. I actually cleaned it out and gave it to my sister and said, go and, you know, she's a part of a church group, go and share it with them, because I didn't want it to go off. I don't like waste, you know. So here I was thinking, okay, meat, okay, steak. Oh my gosh, how am I going to do that? You know, now I went from that 2-week period into, I did more research. I watched more doctors. I watched more medical doctors speak about those types of cravings, those types of habits that we've come from, and how do you break those habits? Because I'm 63, I've got a few habits, you know. So talking about, you know, what I eat, and this is different. The guys talk a lot about just going meat, water, or a few things like that. Now, as a woman, I think our bodies tend to hormonally need different things. And one day I may just try meat only, okay? But I eat meat. I've had steak the last couple of nights. I have eggs, okay? I eat eggs. I used to be a cheese lover when I was younger. I very rarely have it now, and occasionally it's like a little delicacy. I also have cream, and yes, I drink coffee. But where I was 1 a day, I'm probably more 3 a day, but I'm cutting back. It used to be like 5 a day. That was again, a little luxury for me. Sometimes you have to reward yourself, but reward yourself with the things that you can have, rather than the things you can't have or shouldn't have. Now, my body has adapted. I've lost 16.5 pounds, if we're saying it in yours, or 7.5 kilos. It doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of people, but I don't have a lot to lose. You know, I was quite happy in the body I was in. So when I started to lose, and like Chris says, I don't weigh myself that often, but again, I have scales that I haven't had for 30 years. But I weighed myself and I'm like, I haven't been this weight for over 30 years. Come on, guys. I haven't been this weight for over 30 years. And I had another child after my first daughter. So the weight goes on. The weight goes on because in my life, I've had a lot of sexual, physical, mental abuse when I was younger. And I think I comfort ate because I was lonely, or I was sad, or I needed to comfort myself. And I think there's a lot of women out there who tend to sort of eat because of those reasons. I eat 1 meal a day now, and I have to not force myself, but I could go all day and not have to eat. It's only that my son is here that I think, well, I should cook dinner. But I can go all day, and I love that because it does give me extra energy, extra boost, because I'm not digesting, I'm not, you know, creating a slump in my day, which doesn't happen on the food that you eat with carnivore, for me anyway. But what I'm saying is that I can just keep going and think, oh my gosh, you know, I've got to think about some food for my body. I saw Dave Rozelski in here, and hello to everyone in the chat. It's lovely to see you all. Dave said he can go 2 or 3 days without food. I wouldn't recommend that personally, because I think that you can intermittent fasting, but your body still needs fuel, okay? It still needs something, because sometimes it can sort of, you know, affect different other parts of your body. Many people have gone days and days and days without food. Again, for me, I wouldn't recommend it for me. It's up to you. But I really love seeing some of the chat coming through. I think I've sort of explained a little bit more of my journey, and more from an emotional side for women. It's okay. You know, I think the first 2 days I had something sweet to get me through, right? It was tiny, little tiny. Sometimes you just have those little tinies. And after that, because I beat myself up, oh my gosh, you started this thing, and then look at you, look at what you did. But the fact is, you're coming from a diet of sugar. It doesn't matter whether you have it in your coffee. It's in nearly every food you buy in the store. You don't know it. And when they say no added sugar, that means no added to the already there. Okay, it's still there. It doesn't say no sugar. And if you're using things like artificial sweeteners and things like that, do your research. I don't have any sugar. My body has adapted. It took a bit longer. I've been diabetic since 2004, insulin and tablets since 2013. I'm allowing my body to love itself again. You know, that's the thing, and that's the difference. I'm allowing myself, my body, to say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. We've been through so much together, and I'm giving it now the food that it requires, not only for a physical stamina, but also emotionally and mentally. You know, these cover all sorts of things in our lives. We look at it as a diet. I look at it as a way of eating, a lifestyle change. Because one of my sisters said to me recently, so how long are you going to be doing that? And I said, forever. Forever until the day I die, because it's changed my life around. It made a huge difference to me. It will make a huge difference to you, but you do have to give it a try. Chris said give it 30 days. Marty said give it 90. I say take each day as it comes. They say 90, and you will see more differences than you have even noticed. Write things down. Sometimes, I mean, I don't do it. I know my body very well, but sometimes there are things in your body that you forgot, and they hurt that much. But when you start to feel the pain lift, it's like, oh my gosh, that's starting to go. That's starting to lift. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Ask any questions you want, anybody in the chat. But yeah, I think the journey is getting started. And I think here in Australia, it's only fairly new. We have some lovely groups over here. I do have a carnivore channel as well, where I go live every week, called Carnivore Aussie Style. If you don't mind me sharing that, anyone can pop over. It's just a matter of sharing your story. Like Chris and Marty said, we are not doctors. We are not physical nutritionists, you know, anything like that. We're sharing our story because it has changed our lives. So thank you very much for that.
Very good. Does anyone, if you have any questions you want to ask Narelle, myself,
Well, I want to answer something too. Somebody had put in here about not having a gallbladder. Dr. Chappie addresses that. So I put the link in here of the video where he explains about that. From what I hear, it doesn't matter. You're fine. Gallbladder just adds a little more to what you do to digest food, but he
There's a
gives
lot
it.
of illnesses and diseases. And one of the things, sorry, I'll just jump in there quickly. One of the things is we're seeing more diseases, illnesses than we have ever seen in our lives.
Yeah.
When I grew up, there was nothing like what you see these days. And some of them you think, what the heck, you know, or the names of them. And you think there's more cancers today. Sadly,
Yeah.
it's very true. You know, there's more people with immune deficiencies. There's more problems with like irritable bowel, pre-diabetic and diabetic, and also type 1 diabetic, which is different. I understand that. And mostly that comes when the child, usually in a child's age. However, like I said, I do my research. None of us are telling you what to do. We're sharing our story because we care about you. And that's the big difference. We want you all around to be able to enjoy life for as long as you can. I've had my trials and my troubles and my heart surgeries and everything like that. And the one thing I want to say, and particularly to women, but also this does include men, is stress levels. Okay, I believe it was, you know, I had a lot of trouble, but I believe it was a huge amount of stress that brought me into having a heart attack and then open heart surgery. Yeah, that was my diet and everything like that. But if you add stress on top of that, please have a look at ways that you can chill a bit. Take time for yourself, okay? Yes, I'm a busy lady. Yes, I do this and I'm creating this, but I always take time for myself. I love my plants. I love flowers. I go and sit with my plants. I talk to my plants, but don't tell anybody that. And they thrive. If you are a friend of mine on Facebook, you will see my plants. But I just love to take time out, talk to my son, have a coffee, have a sit down, and just not think about anything, you know, because the one thing in life is when you're gone, you're gone. So why not live for today? Why not start living and enjoying your life? It doesn't matter what age you are. Enjoy life. Take on that. You know, I want to be here for a long time. Don't get caught in the mundane of, and I'm going to say it, my doctor rolled his eyes 24,000 times when I told him I was going carnivore. But my doctor and I have a relationship of, he sits there and I tell him what's wrong with me or what I need help with. And it works well for me. My doctor, I do not just sit there and take it. You know, he put me on blood pressure tablets a long time ago after my heart surgery. You know, they think you need this, that, and everything else. And I said to him, look, I don't want to take this rubbish. I don't have blood pressure. I never have in my whole life, high or low. Yes, I have blood pressure, but not high or low. So I said to him, look, I tell you what, let's trial it for 3 months, sorry. And I'm telling my doctor, let's trial it for 3 months without them. Let's see how we go. Oh, okay, well, as long as you get your blood pressure taken every, you know, couple of days and things like that. Over here, the chemists or pharmacies, you might call them over there, you just walk in and they'll take your blood pressure for you, okay? So I had that done for the 3-month period, went back, my blood pressure was fine. And I said, see, you're trying to put me on a tablet which my body didn't need. And so many of you out there trust that. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I know all the particulars about, you know, but I'm just saying, question everything. It is your body, okay? And you only have this one life. Thank God that we're still here. And I'm just so thankful that I found carnivore and have changed my life around. So thank you, boys.
Absolutely. And there's one thing that's undisputed by everyone. Sugar's killing people. It's affecting mentally. It's affecting. Look what happened to everything: dementia, uh, diabetes, cancers. Cancer, from what I've read everywhere, and I mean from doctors, not some crazy people. They said that cancer loves sugar, absolutely loves it, thrives on it. So I believe that this terrarium we call Earth was built perfect. I believe if we do the right thing, how many fat lions do you see? How many do you see that get problems as they get older? They live right up till the day they die, and they die, right? I mean, they don't go through all these illnesses. For some reason, I think man has found a way to keep somebody alive, even if their head is in a shopping cart and the rest of them is just worthless. That's not a life. I don't think anybody has control what day you leave this planet. But I think because we were given choice, you can find a way to live a better life while you're here. That's all. I see too many people, and like I said, all the stuff I've ever did, ever, physically, weightlift, running, walking, whatever, nothing had as big an impact on me as carnivore diet. Nothing, bar none. Just from putting different stuff in my mouth and walking away, because I am an extremist. Everything I did, I overdid it. When I ate too much. When I drank like freaking fish. When I worked, I was a workaholic. So obviously, when there's a sleeve of freaking Oreos, I'm a cookie monster. I'm gonna kill the pig. Serial killer came up from me because I kill a box of cereal. All right, definitely. But it's just who I was, and everybody does it, and it's really sad. And people don't read what they're eating. There's been a few times in the beginning, don't want to go out and get me meat. Oh, there's no sugar. I look at it real close. 10 carbs.
Yeah.
They got a fancy way of it's sugar. It's a filler of some kind. It's not good. I can't eat it. But let me tell you the difference between going where your body switches to burning fat. Not only does you lose weight, just obviously, but the changes inside and mentally and everything else. So I would
There's
definitely try it. Definitely.
Sorry, Marty, there's a guy that's just put up, and I see Chris has put it up, Keith Merritt, asking, has anybody done the research on long-term effects on the carnivore diet? And I just want to say that, there's a lot of people out there that have not done the research on a lot of things they take. There's a new capsule out that'll take away the visceral fat all around your body, and people are having amazing results. But do we look into the back end of that? There are doctors out there, medical doctors, Keith, that are sharing their experience. Most of those have been on the carnivore way of eating for over 5 years. So you can do the research by doing that and having a look at YouTube and just Googling or looking at carnivore for those doctors and how long they've been on it and what they say about it. The thing is, I have also read, and I don't know whether I'll do this or whether it'll happen down the track, but people can sometimes introduce a very low carb back in, whether it's a low carb vegetable or something like that. It really is up to the individual. But I do say do your research. I don't know whether you've got any more on that, Chris.
You guys keep talking. I got a video, and I'll put it in here. A lady has done carnivore her whole life.
Yeah. And Keith, I know Keith. You guys both know Keith. Go ahead, Marty, finish.
She's 82 years old.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I think I've seen that.
Give me 1 second, I'll find out.
Keith, to answer that question also, and if you guys all know Keith, he's a saxophone player, very good entertainer, great guy. Good question, by the way. Yeah, I could say I've seen thousands of people through these other websites I'm visiting with carnivore doctors that have shown results like this woman Marty's going to show here in a minute. Anywhere from beating any kind of disease because they just switched up to carnivore. And like I said, it's one of those things like there's no way, but I'm telling you, yeah, it is a way. I don't know if it's a new, I don't really know how long carnivore has been around, but obviously this lady's 82 and she's done it her whole life. And everything that we kind of were taught, raised. I mean, those healthy breakfast sandwiches or snacks they used to give us in the morning, so much sugar in them. I actually look at everything I eat now because that scares me. I think I don't even like watching my grandkids eat something with sugar now. It's like, it's just scary because
I come from Sugarland country where I live in Mackay, Queensland. We grow sugarcane. Yeah. I grew up in Bundaberg. I was born in Bundaberg, sugarcane. My dad cut cane by hand, not with the machines. He was there around when it was all cut by hand and it was burnt. And we used to go and break a piece after it was burnt and suck the juice out of it, for goodness sake. You go to markets over here and they've got sugarcane drinks. They're pumping you up with sugar constantly, and it doesn't matter whether it's white, raw, or brown over here. It's sugar, okay? It doesn't matter what color it is. It's sugar. It doesn't matter what it's in. It's sugar. And if you, like I said before, if you're eating something that's not sugar and you've gone to those artificial sweeteners, be very, very careful and do your research on those as well. They can cause other sorts of problems. So
this is the lady underneath here, Mary Remark, retired nurse. We're going to have her. I think I want to try to get her on next week. And I think, Narelle, you can be invited back to the panel every week with John White. And I've had a few texting conversations with Miriam, retired. She has some things that she'd like to say. Very interesting. And again, she's a retired nurse and she's seen it all.
I look forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah, she has told me all day. Yeah, all day today. Chris, the sugars. And she goes on and on. So I got to let her rip sooner or later on here.
It's sort of hard. It's hard because, like you said, you don't even like seeing your children or grandchildren eat sugar anymore. The thing is, they have to come to that realization themselves. Our society, whether you're in America or in Australia, is getting fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter. And all they're doing is giving you the option of maybe pills, right? Why not do it with food? The food that we grew many years ago, our ancestry. My parents were dairy farmers. We were raised on fresh milk. The cream on the top of those jugs were like inches thick, beautiful cream. Mum made her own butter. They killed their own cows and stuff like that. milking cows, but you know, that's what they did back then. You know, you kill a beast and you feed everybody, sort of thing. So it really is as simple as what it is, and we tend to make it harder because our bodies or our minds go, this isn't what we should be doing, because it's been instilled in us for years and years and years of the food pyramid, and you should be eating this and you need this and you need fiber. I tell you, you do not. And if I get snacky, as Jennifer asked, I buy good quality butter, a proper organic butter, and I can go and take a slice of that and eat it. It is so beautiful. It tastes like cheesecake. If you want a piece of cheesecake, have a piece of butter. Okay, it really is mind over matter. So back to you, Chris.
I would like to know about, I think she's saying the carnivore diet, or Cano, I'm not sure, Lonnie. Send us a private message.
Yeah.
But Marty also has a lot of videos, probably Narelle too, that they could send to you.
Yeah.
Marty's putting a whole bunch of stuff in here right now, but go do your own research and just look up carnivore on YouTube, carnivore doctors, opinions, and you're going to see thousands of people saying, my life is totally different because I didn't listen to somebody else and I listened to this amazing, I call it a diet, but I don't know what else to call it, life changer or whatever you want to call it. But there's thousands of people that are like, you know, when I go buy something, the first thing I do is I read the comments. I absolutely love comment sections. It gives people's honest opinion. You know, they have a rating scale. And that's how I determine how I actually purchase things. Same with information about health. Okay, wow, this diet, wow, wow. You know, 5 stars all the way across the board. People my age, younger, older, saying, I did this. I can't believe where I'm at right now. It's unbelievable. Some of us would say we'd probably be 6 feet under because of how we ate, because we didn't know any better, to be honest with you. But now, because of social media, this is out and about, and I say do your own research. You don't have to listen to us like I didn't listen to Marty. Go do your own research and check it out. And I talked to John White, even though Marty told me every day, and then I heard it. I don't know why. It must be a block thing with Marty. I can't figure it out. Marty, are you ready to play that?
I'm just going to say before Marty starts, you know, one of the things that people don't understand is not just a meat-based diet. Yes, that is the main thing, red meat. Miriam, you're right. Dr. Ken Berry is amazing in what he shares. But what I can eat, okay, and what you should need to research is red meat, bacon, chicken, occasionally. I'm not a big chicken lover. Fish, absolutely love fish, but I only have it as grilled in butter. I also eat eggs. I have definitely good quality butter. Some cheese is allowed. Like I said, I don't crave cheese. I have it as a bit of a luxury every now and again. Minced meat or ground beef or whatever you call it over there. Pork, lamb, you know, all of the meats that come from an animal that has eyes and legs, you know, you're pretty safe in having that. Eat it with the fat. The fat on those steaks, on those animals is amazing. That is a good quality fat. You can cook with ghee, butter. You know, people use different things, tallow. But at the end of the day, start, you know, and only have 2 meals a day instead of 3. You know, you can wean yourself into something and it takes very little time. And all of a sudden you're going, you know what, I'm just going to go full bore with this. I'm going to try this because my health is suffering. Okay. Mine isn't. Mine is fantastic. And I'm loving life. And I really appreciate that. So over to you, Marty.
Read that question down below, Marty. Must I stay away from all fruit and vegetables? You can answer that question. Unmuted.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm working on something, Chris. What is the question? Must I stay away from all fruit and vegetables? Martin, I don't touch this stuff. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Fruit is sugar. Sugar is sugar. Your body doesn't know any different. Vegetables have a lot of protecting things on them. Let me give you an example. When you look at the skin of an animal, you take a coffee. It's bitter. It's bitter because it was made to protect It was made to protect it from bugs. We are apex creatures. We were not meant to eat vegetables. Now, that's what, if you're a carnivore, that's how you believe. I'll give you an example. Look at a gorilla. They're huge, big chest, big head, but their belly's enormous. They have a huge belly. It's there that big because it has to goes to a lot of green stuff to get the stuff we're eating normally. Look at a cow, 3 stomachs. It has to have 3 stomachs to get all the process through the vegetables. Cows graze. We weren't meant to graze. And everybody I saw that did, uh, I've seen people in these diets for years, and they talk about diarrhea 2 or 3 times a week. I don't know. And I'm just telling you what happened to me. I don't touch it. No,
And
nothing.
Martin needs to look up, if you go and Google Martin oxalate, and you'll have a really lot of information there. They call it oxalate dumping when you go carnivore and you take away fruit and vegetables. Now, some people have allergies, some people have dislikes with fruit and vegetables when they go back and try them. And it is a trial and error sometimes with your body, because none of us are the same. None of us have the same makeup in our bodies. So each one is different for you. I say go and look up oxalates. It's OXILATES, and have a look at what veggies do to your body and fruit. So that's just a suggestion.
Marty, are you able to play that video or no? Are you working on it? You're muted, buddy.
Yeah, Miriam, I think
No, I'm not playing the video. I'm gonna put it in the window here.
Okay.
They say, you know, if you go ketovore, I always advise people who ask me about carnivore, if you're not ready to go full carnivore yet, have a look, do your research, but go ketovore, where you're allowed some low carb vegetables and things like that, and wean yourself in, just as Marty did. Marty started on ketovore. You know, have a look at it. If you're carrying a lot of weight, then you need to start to change something, you know. So have a look at what your low carb vegetables are and things like that, and start that way.
That video I just put in there, she's when you see the lady, she's in her 80s.
I think she's 82.
Yeah, she's in her 80s. She was in her 80s when she did that video, let's put it that way. And she's been doing carnivore for 40 years, 50, 60 years. Yeah. And by the way, if you go to the 2 people, you go to Chappie and
Barry.
Dr. Barry is good. These are doctors. They usually, because they have to really be tough on the studies that were taken, because they back it with science. They really do. You know, I mean, people get mad, but everything's so cool. So anyway,
everything's factual with those doctors. The medical team, they get their licenses to protect. Remember that. These people aren't just coming on and going by hearsay. They have something to protect, and they want to protect you with the right information. So just remember that.
Yeah. Well, Narelle, thank you very much for coming on here. We appreciate you. Like I said, you're welcome back. I believe in the next couple of weeks, we should be getting maybe 4 or 5 different people on the panel to have an open discussion. We take all questions. I will try to show them up on the board. Dave Rozeski said he gets sick from the smell of fish and eggs. A lot of people I know, at peanut butter, peanuts, eggs. Well, you just don't eat that stuff. If you've been allergic to it your whole life.
Let me tell you something. When you switch to carnivore and you get into ketosis, what you think you know or you feel or whatever, it goes away. I mean,
it changes.
It's weird. I mean, everything's weird. And the cool thing about carnivore for me, I'm on the lion diet. I usually stick with beef only. So I want the other stuff. Like I said, I'm extreme. But I need extreme things to happen. When I'm eating, if I'm eating hamburger or steak, I'll eat and eat and eat, and all of a sudden, I'm done. It doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste good. I just don't want it anymore. And that's the way it should be. There's some people on carnivore that are losing weight and have said to me, hey, I'm worried I'm losing weight too fast. Well, on the carnivore diet, I see with people that stay on it, it'll actually bring you to the weight you should be. Like it, don't like it, it will actually take you to, if you're supposed to be 125 pounds, you're going to get there eventually. I believe this, okay? Like I said, I'm not a doctor. You do it consistently. The only time, here's the other thing, cravings are gone. If you have a craving, you cheated.
Mm-hmm.
If you
You
have a
need
craving,
more water.
you ate some kind of carb, and then your body went, "Wait a minute, you're going back to sugar?" You know, and right away. No, I'm not kidding. You need. I get. There's some days when I mean, there's been days I jumped off the wagon. I did something. The family has something. But I'll tell you what, it was never as good as it used to be.
No.
It just wasn't quite the same. But seriously, when you're in ketosis, there's been days I'll sit here working on something. I look up at the dome. I go, "Did I eat today? I don't know if I did or not." And it's not like I'm really, really hungry. There's some days I'm hungrier than others, but there's some days, no, I'm not hungry at all. And the cravings are the big one. The reason people have problems, listen, everybody knows the cereal companies and all the people in these big companies, they know that sugar is addictive. Don't be dumb. Why is it that some of the biggest cereal manufacturers in the world have a big investment in diabetic medicine? You have to be Einstein to put those two together. It's a win-win. We get you craved, we're going to take care of you on the other end. So anyway,
The
yeah,
thing
very
is
good.
that sugar is addictive. It's like cocaine, and you're waiting for your next hit. So when you're having sugar, what happens is when it passes through, or it's not enough for your body to be happy again, then it's like you need another hit, and then you go and have more, and you go and have more, and that 1 teaspoon of sugar in your coffee just doesn't cut it anymore. Or you start to crave a cake. I love cake. I love fruit cake. Have I had it? No, I
I
have not.
work I work with a fruit cake. Oh wait a minute, I shouldn't. Hey,
Chrissy fruit.
I tell you though, I do like coffee, and I went for a while not at all. But if you use heavy cream, it's a big
Yeah,
plus.
I use heavy cream, and it's absolutely beautiful. And Miriam just said it's okay to cheat. I don't even think it's cheating. When I was on carnivore for 5 months, right? I said to myself, it's okay. I'm going to celebrate today with something very small for my achievement. And that is in life, reward yourself. And it's silly to say reward yourself, because I didn't do it with sugar. Okay. I did it with more of a savory type thing, and it was only small. You don't have those cravings anymore. Like I said, eat better, make sure you're drinking plenty of water, good water, salt, Celtic salt, those sort of things. I know you use Himalayan, Chris, and everybody to their own desires. Okay. Put a little bit on your tongue. Okay. Let it dissolve. Have a little drink of water. It doesn't taste yuck. And you will find that craving goes away. It happens like that for me. And I'm sure everyone would be the same.
No,
Just get
there'll
sugar.
be little tricks like that you do it. That's why we want to have these meetings where other
Yes.
people can come in and say, you know what I tried, and you go, well, I'm going to try that. And by the way, that's why I don't call it a diet. It's not cheating. One day I did something. I'm going right back to it's a lifestyle for me. It changed my life. I think
Yeah.
I should have been eating this way my whole life, but I don't know what happened. I mean, we all went off just different directions, but there's some countries out there now, even if they're poor and don't have a lot of food, they don't have all these diseases we have. They don't.
Nope.
No,
They don't.
no, they don't.
Anyway, this was very good, Narelle. We'll obviously
Yes.
see you back. We got a guy coming eventually who lost his whole body weight. He is half the man he used to be, literally, as Chris would say.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He's half the
What?
man.
One more question, real quick, because Mark R has been putting on here. What about when you are in ketosis and then hit the carbs? You understand?
Here's the bad thing about it. This is what I want to tell you. If you're in ketosis and you hit carbs, you're knocked out of ketosis up to 4 days.
Yeah.
It doesn't come right back like a light switch. You got to tell your body, because at first your body says, "I'll freaking wait," and I bet you goes, "Okay, we used up this reservoir. Let's start burning the fat." That's all. But it's not a light switch. You want to cheat or not cheat? You want to go off? It does not go back in the. I got a meter that I blow into, and if I went off a little bit, it's at least 2 days for me. Now, I'm on the lion diet, so I'm a little bit okay. I can come back within maybe 2 days. But start however. Listen, if I know I started slower with keto, but I would have went lion diet if I knew it was there. I just didn't know. I thought keto. I never heard of the other, right? So once I saw carnivore, I went, "What am I doing? Why am I riding around in a Volkswagen when I could have a Ferrari?" So that next step was awesome for me. And it's real funny, Chris is in it. He's losing weight like crazy. He's off his insulin. And you know how he found out?
You lost your gels, Chris.
Yeah.
They're still there. I got a little way to go.
He found out from someone that I talked to. Not from me. I talked to him for a month.
That says a lot in itself.
Yeah, David, spices are okay as long as they don't have sugar in them. I have 7 or 8 different spices every single day.
We got to be careful with the word "okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
People take spices. Look at what there's a law to everything in this world.
Yeah.
What is considered carnivore? You go look it up. Do you want to go a little bit here and there? David, you could do whatever you want. It's not going to kill you, but I'm just saying. Yeah, but don't. I don't want to say this is okay. That's okay. Carnivore's got its own law. Carnivore's carnivore. I have never seen. Now this is me. A lion sitting on a freaking stump, putting some freaking pepper and a little paprika on his freaking elk. Okay, I mean,
and I didn't have any spices either. I only have salt. That's enough for me. But like you said, everybody's
laying a gazelle over and saying, "Hey, bring me the hot sauce." You know what I mean? Nah.
Yeah. And Chris used to love his barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah, I don't even have barbecue sauce.
All the sugar.
But
I got to tell you how much doctors really care, and we'll shut this down. Chris is in the hospital because he's lighting up like a Christmas tree because he's got diabetes, right? Like 10,500,000, whatever. He was turned into a lollipop. So he goes there, and this is how cool the hospital is. That's why I say, be careful. You know what they gave him to eat? Applesauce.
Yep.
What was the other thing? Banana?
Orange juice.
Oh, and pancakes. In the morning.
Orange juice.
Yeah, orange juice. And I went, "Chris, that's all got carbs in it." Yeah, but there's no sugar. It's all sugar.
It's funny.
You didn't know.
The guy next to me who was in his early 70s, who had lost his leg, had diabetes, lost his leg. He looks over at me, and this guy's educating me because we're in the same room together. He says, "Chris, we just met each other. I don't like telling him what to do, but I'm not sure why they're letting you have orange juice, the pancakes, those vegetables. None of that stuff's good for you. You need to go to class and learn this. But I don't know why. This is a hospital.
This is the guy that's getting limbs cut off because of diabetes.
Yeah. Lost his leg and part of his shoulder.
That's sad.
But he was saying, dude, you don't want to be like this. I used to be an athlete. Now I got one leg in a wheelchair and crutches. He says, change the way you eat. But what you're eating there, I don't know why. It was on my dietary chart. I didn't know. I didn't even know what diabetes, how it worked.
It's really sad.
I'm in the hospital. Give me the pancakes. Give me some whipped cream. And I'm loading it up. And he's looking at me like, do you want to stay here longer?
You know what's really funny? The whipped cream was probably the best thing you could have had.
Yeah, exactly. Just eat the whipped cream. Without sugar.
Narelle, we appreciate you coming on here.
Narelle. Did you have fun, Narelle?
Absolutely. Appreciated it. Thank you so much for allowing me to share a little bit about my
No. We'll be back. We'll just keep building the panel and getting bigger.
Yeah, no, I like it. I love
it. I see someone like Martin talking, and then he'll be on with us eventually. And I wanted to bring people of family members we know. You don't have to be in the this. It doesn't matter. Just come because I want to help people. What?
Gloria, Answer Gloria's question. How do I start?
Where do I get these, or how do you see?
How do you start?
How do you start? You can eat anything. You can eat eggs. You can eat meat.
Beef.
Listen, I know it's expensive to eat steak. I was lucky because I found a place that sells steak for $4.99 a pound in big bulk, and Dawn cuts it up, salts both sides, and puts it in the freezer. You could get hamburger. I was going to bring up something else real quick, Gloria. Dawn found a dehydrator in a yard sale, like $4, like brand new. We've taken hamburger, we flattened it out on a, what's that paper called?
Cookie cutter, paper cutter. Just say flat paper.
Parchment paper, whatever. Flattened it out, salted it and flattened it out, put it in there, and we made beef jerky out of regular hamburger. Find hamburger on sale and buy it 99 cents a pound. Costco, I learned this from Eric Kessler. They sell grass-fed burgers. Listen, that's clean keto. If you can't afford it, any beef will help you. But you can eat any meat. I know somebody that eats a lot of chicken wings and stuff like that because they can afford it. Butter all you want. You can eat a stick of butter. I've
real
done it.
real butter.
Real butter. I cook in butter. Beef, bacon, butter, eggs. Yes, Pamela. Pamela's right. All the stuff that was the cuss words of the 70s, you can have it. I remember telling my grandmother, she was frying eggs in lard and bacon. It was freaking good. Well, I told her, I had to warn her, gotta be careful, it's still bad for your heart. She was 102. So I probably messed up there. But they lived that. They were carnivores and didn't even know it. They one time a day, they had the big meat meal at night. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, anything like that. Just look it up. Go Google anywhere and just say zero carb food. You can eat all you want of it.
If you want to start, if for that lady who just asked, Pamela, no, the other lady, if you want to start, go to YouTube and put in carnivore for beginners.
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's where you start. You start looking at those and you start researching the other medical doctors who share their amazing information about all sorts of things. Google if you've got a problem. YouTube if you've got a problem. If you've got a health problem, put it in there. Carnivore and diabetes. We
want you back, Gloria. Tell us what's going on. I want to hear because
stories.
I feel good what it did to me. And I'd love to see more and more people get involved. And one day we get in O-Connect and we can hold 50, 60 people that are doing the same thing. I would listen. When you're doing better financially, okay? When you're traveling, you want to feel your best. And this has made me feel my best in the last 20 years. So
yeah. Listen, I went to Mexico real quick and then I'm done. When I went to Mexico City, and they had a thing called the moon and something. They were these big old pyramids. I climbed up the first one and I thought I was going to die. Do you want to be sitting at the bottom looking up, or do you want to go to the top and looking down at everything? It's a lot better view. And because I was in the shape I was in, how I was eating, I couldn't make it up that second thing, and I just gave up and sat there and sweating profusely because I was exhausted from making one little easy trip that I used to run up like it was nothing. But don't be the one sitting in the bottom, man. Work your way to the top. This diet will get you there, guaranteed.
Chris, do one last thing because I know you're dying to say it, and I kind of held you back, and I don't want you to feel bad. Go ahead and tell them how big my freaking head was before. Okay?
Oh, yeah. It's funny because, and of course, I love all these guys and gals. And I was looking back, and like I said, we do something different. This is strictly carnivore on Mondays nights. And I was looking back at some of the webinars we did, and then I seen, what the hell is that? Exact words. What the hell is that? It looked like, two little ears. It was a perfectly squared piece of meat with two eyes and nose and ears. I'm like, oh my God, that's Marty. I wonder if he realizes how much he lost. Now everyone loves his dimples, but if you took if you took a box.
This is how long he went the other day.
Look at if you took a box and did this,
Yes.
that would be Marty. Hey, but I'm proud of him because
Yeah.
you yourself, you can't notice it until you put clothes on. I said, Marty, he goes, oh my God, Chris, was that me? Yeah, that was you, bro. Hate to say it, but look at you now. Who cares? Let the past be gone and move on to the future. So thanks,
That's
Marty. I really enjoyed that part.
I thought you'd like to leave on an upper note. You know.
Hi, this is Marty
I just want to I just want to do a shout out if you don't mind and just say hello to Shari Green. I know Shari's semi carnivore, doing very well, and I
Who?
just
Who?
say love you.
Sherry Green.
I
Shari
love
Green.
Sherry Green.
Yeah, so
I love Sherry
thank you.
Green.
Yeah, thank you so much. And like I said, it's really good if you go and research, carnivore for beginners, but come back here every week because there's one of the best things is to have support. And one of the best things is have a place where you can go and ask a question. There's a guy I interviewed here in Australia, Ian Gundrill. I've asked him if he could show up today as well. He was pretty busy, but we'll see. But Ian is a really good support in the sense that he's been on it for almost 2 years. I think he lost something like 43 kilos, which is a lot in pounds. And, he has an amazing story. Every one of you will have an amazing story, whether it's coming into it or how long you've been on it and things like that. So that's what we want to hear as well, is your story and your sharing about your journey into carnivore.
By the way, everybody, 43 kilos is 95 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a big footballer. He's about 6'4", 6'5", something like that. But he was an active footballer,
Yeah.
So
3 years ago, that would have been like cutting Marty DeGarmo's head off.
No. This is my shirt now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know my clothes. I said to my son, I got to go and buy some new clothes because I said they're just hanging on me.
And you know what? Yeah, we make fun of each other because we both have a lot of respect for each other. We have fun with it. So don't think we do this all day with each other.
We did all right. Listen, if I don't say Chris is a dumbass at least once 3 or 4 times, I have to call him. Chris, I forgot something. Yeah, you are dumb.
Yeah. Actually, Australia is where everything in Australia is carnivore. You've never seen a fat crocodile, have you? They eat at least 2 servings a day, right?
After eating one of you, he'd be fat. And the thing is, Australians have one of the best meats over here, so we're very, very fortunate in having the best quality meat that you can buy.
I heard that. I heard that.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you very much. Love to all. Appreciate it.
Hey, are you going to trivia?
Me?
Yeah.
He ain't talking to me, that's for sure.
I will possibly be there in about 20 or so minutes.
All right. See you all. Thanks.
Okay.
Narelle.
Bye, everybody.
This was